Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to deliver your September 2016 general readings. I hope you had a wonderful August. Thank you so much for continuing to watch and listen, follow, share, like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your continued updates and comments that you guys are so brilliant at putting out. I love reading how the readings resonate for you and play out for you in your lives, for those of you for whom they do. Thank you for taking the time to post your comments both on the YouTube channel videos themselves and the ones that some of you take the time to send via email. They're greatly appreciated. Thank you to my regular clients also for continuing to keep me updated on how things are moving on in your lives. And thank you to those of you who continue to reach out for one-on-one readings with me. It is always an honor and always a pleasure, as I say. And you have my gratitude for the trust you place in me to interpret and intuit the cards for you. If any of you are interested in a one-on-one reading, you can click on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage. That'll give you a little more information and detail on myself, what I do, the services I offer, and my contact information and email address, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to do a reading with you. So if you're interested, send me an email and we will go from there. I do readings full time, so I'm able to get back with you quite quickly and set up a reading within a pretty reasonable period of time. Current turnaround time, which I'm always asked about, varies, but it's typically anywhere from 3 to 4 days to a week and a half to 2 weeks, but almost always within a 2-week period of time. So again, if you're interested, send me an email and we will set something up for you. So this reading is for Scorpio for September 2016. If Scorpio is your primary sun sign, make sure to check your rising and your moon sign as well. Your primary sun sign may or may not resonate predictably for you and what's going on with you in your lives. So make sure to check your rising and your moon as well. They may play out for you in different areas of your life as well. These are general readings, of course, and there's lots of you watching, so they are, of course, going to play out differently depending on who you are and your natal chart. I am continuing to use the Gilded Tarot deck by artist Cyril Marchetti, whom I am a big fan of. I also have his Gilded Reverie Normandy deck, which is the artwork on that is just quite astounding as well. You may want to check that out. So moving right along, let's get into this reading. This is for Scorpio for September 2016. Show me the energies for the water sign of Scorpio, the scorpions, the stingers for September 2016. Scorpio, September 2016. What does the month of Scorpio hold for the water sign? Sorry, what does the month of September hold for the water sign of Scorpio? Scorpio, September 2016. Okay. Okay, we begin with the Lovers, followed by the Nine of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, followed by the Eight of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, followed by the Moon, and the Nine of Wands, followed by the Ace of Wands. From the bottom of the deck, overall energy and crowning card is your King of Wands. Your King of Wands. That's interesting. So your crowning card being the King of Wands, primary significant person and energy that's going to be kind of overlaying the month of September for you, Scorpio. This could probably represent fire sign in your life, sun, moon, or rising, Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, the King of Wands. As Wands is governed by the element of fire, it's a very fiery, action-oriented suit. The energy of Wands is change, movement, action, power, creating, building, manifesting. It's very forward-moving and very active. Kings and Queens representing people who have reached energies that have reached the mastery of their suit, the achievement of their suit, tend to be more mature, reflective individuals, experienced, pretty grounded in the elements of their sign, their suit. So this King of Wands, though, is still pretty fiery individual, may sometimes tend to still be a little spontaneous and impulsive, although pretty well disciplined because he's reached kinghood. um, dynamic, energetic, creative, passionate, probably very charismatic, could be very good looking. Again, Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Knows how to get the job done, doesn't tend to rest on his laurels for very long. When he decides to do something, decides he wants something, he pretty much develops a plan of action and goes right after it. Good at getting the job done, good at inspiring other people and delegating to get the job done as well. Good solution finder and solver. So, significant person who is somebody who's having a significant effect, role, influence in your life for September, at least for the first half of September, because we still have mid-months to do. So we find ourselves at the beginning of September 2016 with the major arcana card of the Lovers, followed by the Nine of Pentacles. So the Lovers card, major arcana, fingers of the divine, divine energies, divine timing and orchestration, significant life shifts, changes, and advice. The Lovers card can play out a couple of different ways, or both, depending on who you are, because of course it's going to play out differently. There's lots of you watching. It can represent a very passionate karmic connection, a very passionate soulmate, kindred spirit sort of connection. As you can see from the artwork on this card, there is no lack of heat in this relationship. Very connective, very divine. Quite passionate, quite fiery. It can also represent a major decision. In the early tarot decks, this was not even referred to as the Lover's card. It was called the Choice, and it showed a man standing in front of two women standing in front of a man, and it signified making a major choice. And because of, I think, the original artwork, it developed into the Lovers, more relationship oriented. But it does represent a significant choice, and because it's major arcana and major arcana energy, this is a choice that will make a significant difference in your life. Life shift, life changes, very important decision. And it could be that the decision is about love and relationships or home and family somehow. And I feel like for a lot of you it is, looking at the rest of these cards. So that Lover's card is accompanied by the Nine of Pentacles. So Pentacles is a suit governed by the element of earth. So the energy of Pentacles is earthy, solid, dependable, reliable, tangible, concrete even. It can represent things that we can see and touch and feel, often things like money, finances, property, resources, job, career, etc. Very tangible things. You can apply that same energy to love and relationships, spirituality. It's energy that feels tangible. It's tangible results of efforts we put into something. So the Nine of Pentacles is a card of prosperity, abundance, wealth even, but independence, self-sufficiency, and self-empowerment. You can see the woman on this card is in her garden. It's a beautiful garden. She's wearing a beautiful dress. She's very well put together. She obviously is able to have the resources to take very good care of herself. She's surrounded by things which depict wealth, security. This card is a card of independence and self-sufficiency, though, because everything that this woman is enjoying, it's kind of the fruits of her labors. She's had very little, if anything, handed to her on a silver platter. Everything that she's currently enjoying, she's worked for, built up a good, solid, stable foundation for herself by her own work, her own talent, her own smarts, etc. It can often... well, not even often. It can sometimes refer to an independent woman or an independent man. And attached to the Lover's card, I feel like more decision-making energy off of this and more relationship-oriented. So this may or may not resonate for you as a relationship reading. Again, you can apply these energies to other sectors of your life, but I'm feeling more relationships. Making a major decision about whether or not to continue, either to go into a relationship, to establish a relationship with someone perhaps you've been dating, or to separate or make a major decision about, I think, staying in a particular relationship with someone, your ideas about the relationship that you're in. Again, this could apply to a particular job you're in, a particular career path you're in as well. And I feel like for the majority of you, that energy is sent for those of you for whom this is relationship oriented, it's centered more around this King of Wands individual in your life. Now, next to that combination of cards, we have the Four of Wands paired with the Eight of Swords. So the Four of Wands is one of those cards. It's one of the cards considered one of the happy home, stable home cards. Fours do represent stability. 4 pillars, 4 posts. It's a stable foundation upon which to build something. It can represent a happy home, a happy family. It can represent a celebratory event, an actual party or event that's celebrating something like a wedding, an anniversary, a birthday party, a graduation party. For work, it could represent a celebration or a party to celebrate the end of a project or the successful completion or success of something. There's an element to the Four of Wands of things working out better than you anticipate. Particularly if it's about a get-together, maybe an ordinary sort of get-together, but something actually happens there to elevate it and make it extraordinary, but in an unexpected kind of way, like you go to a get-together and maybe you meet the love of your life there, or you make the best business contact of your career there. Sometimes when you see the Four of Wands, it can signify a happy surprise coming your way, but something working out better than you anticipate in an unexpected way, perhaps from an unexpected source. Now, the Four of Wands is accompanied by the Eight of Swords, which is a completely different type of energy. It's energy kind of a feeling trapped or held hostage. Swords is governed by the element of air, so Swords is a suit that's all about that airy, intangible world of what goes on up in our heads. Swords is about words, ideas, thoughts, mental outlooks, perspectives, belief systems. It's about how we look at things and how we think about things, our thoughts and ideas. The Eight of Swords, the energy of the Eight of Swords represents being in a place where you feel trapped, you feel held hostage. You can see this woman is surrounded by these 8 swords, which can represent a variety of ideas that make her feel trapped, or one particular thing or belief system or situation or relationships that's making her feel trapped. She's on her knees, which implies a feeling of helplessness and vulnerability. She's blindfolded, which represents a feeling of being confused, not knowing where to go, feeling helpless, like you can't make a decision. She has chains wrapped around her wrists. Again, victim, helpless, powerless, unable to make a decision or take control of your life. You're not feeling like you don't have control of your life, feeling trapped and held hostage within something, a situation, a relationship. However, the energy of the Eight of Swords is somewhat illusionary because the gaps between these swords are plenty wide enough she could actually just walk right through and away from them. She's on her knees, but nobody's actually forcing her there or holding her there. The chains which are wrapped around her wrists aren't connected to anything or anyone. So she could flip her wrists, those chains could fall off, she could stand up on her own 2 feet, take this blindfold off, see her situation for the reality that it is, which is that she's not really trapped or held hostage. She does have control of her life, and she can make whatever decisions she needs to make to walk through and away from whatever the situation represents. So it feels like you feel trapped by something in the month of September, at least going into the month of September, Scorpio. And it feels like for a lot of you, that's what that is, that feeling trapped or held hostage by. It has something to do with a relationship, a home situation, or perhaps you're considering making a commitment, but that Eight of Swords represents fears and insecurities and doubts you have about perhaps losing your freedom or losing control over your life. Again, it's going to play out differently for different people. That Eight of Swords is right next to that Nine of Pentacles. Perhaps some of you are afraid of giving up your freedom and independence, or you see moving into this relationship or building a home and family as, you know, losing freedom, losing independence, losing a certain amount of control over your life. Perhaps this is happening because some of you found out that you're pregnant or your partner's pregnant. For some of you, you're in already a currently established relationship or marriage of some kind, a committed relationship, and you're feeling trapped within it and wondering if you need to make a decision to separate yourself from it to gain back a sense of freedom and independence and control over your life. And again, I feel like it's centered around this King of Wands individual in your life, male or female. The specificities, of course, are going to be different depending on who's watching. So we're around the middle of the month of September now, time being kind of fluid. The energy kind of continues along the same thoughts. It feels like you're just kind of spending a lot of time in your head. Don't get too caught up in this Eight of Swords energy, Scorpio. Remember that a great deal of it is illusionary. You are not trapped or held hostage. You can free yourself from this. So try not to get too wrapped up, like chasing your own thoughts in a circular pattern in your head this month. So we continue with the Five of Pentacles, followed by the Moon card. So the Five of Pentacles, it's a card basically of insufficiency and lack in finances, job, and career. And again, you can apply this energy even though it feels for a lot of you focused more on relationships of some kind. It could be job and career as well. And for some of you, it could be just purely financial. The Five of Pentacles can represent feeling very financially strapped. You don't have enough money. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul, or you're afraid you're not going to have enough money. It's a card of insufficiency and lack. You can feel shut out in the cold. Love and relationships, emotional. You can feel rejected, out in the cold, like you're not good enough, etc. But again, just like with that Eight of Swords being illusionary, there's a certain amount of this energy that's not entirely reality based, or there's something that you're not seeing. There's this light shining through this window for this couple, and this couple's outside kind of in the cold. In other tarot decks I've seen them, they're outside in the snow or the rain. They look kind of homeless, like they're very much in need. They don't have what they need. This light shining through this church window signifies, or the insinuation is that on the other side of this light is what they need, an answer, a solution, resources, food, blankets, etc. But they're not paying attention to it because they're just basically focused on what they don't have and what they need, and it does represent that it can point to something being in your environment that is an answer, a solution of some kind, but you're not seeing it because you're only focused on this sense of what you don't have and what you want, or this sense of feeling trapped and held hostage. So try to pull some of that, if not all of that energy out of there, and take another look around and look at it from a more reality-based, less anxiety and stress-induced based perspective, Scorpio. That Five of Pentacles is accompanied by the Moon card, which again is some pretty significant energy of feeling, I think for a lot of you, lost, confused. You don't know which way to go. Again, there's a strong decision-making energy, maybe flipping back and forth. What do? I feel trapped. Is this going to make me feel trapped? Do I need to get myself out of this? Do I commit? Do I not commit? Do I stay? Do I leave? I'm getting the energy from the Moon card of not having enough information, the path being kind of cloudy, which is what the Moon card can signify. It can also represent a deep kind of going internal spirituality, connecting perhaps with your source of divinity, whatever that is for you, to find an answer based on intuition. Maybe ask your, God, spirit, angels, guides also to help you, and trust in your intuition, because I think that's what it's really going to come down to you for making this decision, Scorpio. Things look very different from the light of the moon, under the light of the moon, than they do by the light of the sun. By the light of the moon, there's a lot of like hidden corners, shadowy recesses and nooks. There's things that aren't clear or revealed. There can be a sense of things being hidden or secret. And accompanied with that Five of Pentacles, again, it feels like the same energy. There's some kind of fear and insecurity, insufficiency and lack, or fear of insufficiency and lack, and a sense of feeling like you don't have control, or you don't know what decision to make, or you can't make a decision. But again, the feeling that I'm getting is that it is there. And that the main reason you perhaps have a difficulty seeing it this month is because you're focused. There's too much focus on that fear, too much focus on that anxiety, that feeling trapped and held hostage. So try to pull some of that away and take another look around from a different perspective, and ask whatever your source of divinity is for guidance and help to pay attention to your dreams and thoughts and ideas as well. Now we end the month of September 2016 with the Nine of Wands paired with the Ace of Wands. So the energy feels like it's shifting at the end of the month, although from the way the cards are looking and kind of feeling, I think that this is going to move into October as well and come to a resolution in October. But it feels like there's a lot more movement at the end of September. We have the Nine of Wands here, which represents taking a step back, re-strategizing, reflecting, assessing, taking a different perspective, trying to find a different perspective on something in order to find a way through it, under it, around it, etc. You can see this man is sunk down to his knees. He's holding on to one of these wands, and behind him is this grouping of 8 wands. This grouping of 8 wands represents a delay delay perhaps that he wasn't expecting, an obstacle, a challenge, and he wasn't expecting it. It's kind of confused him, so he's withdrawn a little ways. It's a card of kind of withdrawal but not retreat. He's taken a step back, he's withdrawn, perhaps he's a little confused. He's trying to figure it out. What does this delay, this obstacle, this challenge, why is it there? Is it because of something I did? How do I get, is there a way to get through it? Is there a way to get under it, over it, around it, etc.? It's about taking a step back, going within, again, reflecting. What does your intuition tell you? Ask your source of divinity for help, perhaps trusted advisors or friends. Reflect, reassess, re-strategize, and then go back in, because the underlying energy of this is going back in and tackling it again, or figuring out a way around it or through it. Because it's a 9, it's not a 10. 10 represent the end of a cycle, the completion, being at the end of it. But you're very close. It's at the 9. It represents this one last hurdle, this one last thing that needs to be overcome or gotten through or solved somehow before you can get to the other side of it. What's on the other side of it? Well, your new beginnings, because that 9 of Wands is accompanied by the Ace of Wands. Again, remember that suit of Wands is it's about change, movement, action, power. It's about building and creating and manifesting. And aces represent the wands. They represent new beginnings, new paths, the promise and potential of something. And because it's the Ace of Wands, that promise and potential is it's very exciting and passionate and enthusiastic and action oriented. It's very forward moving, this new beginning. But remember that aces are seeds, and seeds need to be planted in the ground. They need to be fertilized, watered, taken care of, pruned, so that they can grow to the full manifestation that they contain in those little seeds. Otherwise, the Ace of Wands would just fizzle out as a great new idea or an aha moment, but if it isn't acted on, it just kind of ends up going away. So it's about re-strategizing, figuring it out. You're almost there at the end of the month, Scorpio. You've almost got it figured out. It's just one last hurdle. And again, advice: don't allow all of your energy to get caught up in that 8 of Swords energy, that 5 of Pentacles energy, that insufficiency, lack, feeling trapped. You're not. There's an answer there. Perhaps seek out advice from a trusted advisor or friend. Ask God, your spirit angels, guides for help. Go within. See what your gut instinct and your intuition and that connection to source actually tells you, because it feels like you're at the end of the month, you're almost there, and it feels like this is going to play out and have more of a positive resolution in October. Again, major choices. I feel like for a lot of you, it's relationships, love, home, family oriented, but others of you, this could also represent job and career. But this King of Wands is playing a significant role kind of in the middle of whatever all of this is for you specifically. So Scorpio, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I hope you found it useful somehow, and that it gives you a little bit of insight and clarity and food for thought in moving through September. Again, if any of you are interested in a one-on-one reading, you can click on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, and you can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to do a reading with you and for you. And until I see you all again in a couple of weeks for the September 2016 mid-month readings, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks for watching, Scorpio, and I'll see you soon. Bye.